So I was sim racing with my pals the other day. We talked about what we did over the holidays. I told them that I attended a drunkathon, I donated to a telethon, I listened to Shaka-Con, I watched Wrath of Khan, and I also drove a pretend Lamborghini Huracan. And that brought us around to talking about Bathurst. And that's where my story of my friend Larry comes in. You see, Larry didn't take us seriously when I told him the dangers about racing at Bathurst. And as you guessed it, Larry died on the mountain. Last thing Larry told me was, you know what Amy Schumer, James Corden, and the Lamborghini have in common? They'd all be better off without an extra 40 kilos, you know. Well, let's just hope that Larry's story is a cautionary tale for those of us who are going to be racing at Bathurst this week. Let's hope we don't die on the mountain. But if Larry were with us today, he'd say, light 'em up. It's the last race of the season.
Welcome back to the beginning of another Sim Racing Alliance season. It's been a long break, and we're back.
But it's been quite a long break, and I think you, me, and everybody involved with tonight's action is super excited to get going.
So they got a straight fight the rest of the night. He's going to have to make a move. That's a Punterino.
Serious pressure from Boostra. Trying to switch on the inside. Sweeney goes on the inside for the defense. Oh my goodness, right in between.
He's going to dive to the inside of both of them. They're going to go three wide corner. And we're off and away for SRA.
Hey, welcome to the stream tonight, everyone. We are here at the final round of Season 9, and we are ready for some action-packed racing around Mount Panorama circuit here in Bathurst, Australia. And we have our D1 drivers teed up and ready to go for their final race of the season. Hope you enjoyed your holidays. I know these guys enjoyed a week off, and we'll see if they can shake the rust off around this very difficult and challenging track. With me in the booth, as always, I have Andrew Anderson and Maxie Poe. Andrew, what are you seeing out there tonight?
I see people dying on the mountain. Oh, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Bathurst is my favorite track offered by the simulator, and I can't wait to watch the pros race. What are you looking at tonight, Maxie? How do you like the track?
I don't care much for the track, even though it does suit my driving style occasionally. But I'm just looking to see if these guys can give us the same quality entertainment they've been giving us all season and keep it inch perfect through most notably Skyline and Bentley Corner.
They're going to have to.
It's going to be a tricky one. And with that, we're going to flip over to our track map tonight. Andrew, walk us through the track tonight, would you?
Well, those 90-degree corners, the last one and the first one, those aren't so bad. Griffin's Bend, that's not so bad. But all those squiggly parts, that's the bad part. That's the danger stuff. It's all squiggly for a reason. But I tell you, what I'm looking at is the cutting. It's really easy to get some too much front grip there. It's turn 4, and you're going up the hill, and bad things happen there. If you get turned around there, then the oncoming cars can't see you. And that's a big danger there. And I think you got to get it right at McPhillamy Park. That's that big left-hander with the curb on the left. You got to get speed across there because you're going to Skyline, and it's the late braking game heading down the hill after Skyline. Down the hill, you got to brake. I think the fast guys will be braking after the big sign. We'll be watching that tonight. And you gotta you can't let it get out of shape, go down to Essence, but you got to be maximum speed. And we'll see who can make the big left-hand turn at Forest Elbow and head down the Conrad. I don't think these guys have a problem with the chase. I sometimes do, but I think it's all about the cutting, and it's all about getting to the dipper.
All right. We will see if these guys are up to the task. And speaking of these guys, there they are laid out for us with Travis Nordstrom on top with a pretty big lead. He would have to have basically a no-start race tonight to lose this championship at this point for our gold overall championship. We do still have a tight race with our silver drivers with Dan, and Ryan down there separated by only 73 points total? Not even that. 23 points total, it looks like. 13 for those three. Excuse me, my math is terrible. But anyway, those guys are still battling it out for the silver overall championship. And we will be watching our silver drivers closely tonight. Congrats to Travis Nordstrom on his overall victory in the SRA Division 1 championship. And with that, we are going to flip over to our second half of our standings and take a look at some of the other drivers that might not have gotten as much mention this season, but hopefully they will all be back next season to battle it out again. And we do still have a little bit of something going on in our team standings here. We have a very close race for first place there with Drive Bimmer Vroom only 4 points out of the lead from the Sharks. And this is Beer only 28 points back as well. So it's anybody's game in the top three there. They're far and away ahead of everybody else, but the team championship's still up for grabs tonight, so we will be keeping a close eye on that. And we have qualifying just about to get underway here, so we are going to get over to our race page and show you guys some action. There's a picture of our pit lane as these drivers get ready to do some qualifying tonight. We have some silver drivers already out on the track. There's Dan Good, one of our championship contenders, as we mentioned earlier, in his BMW, out on his warm-up laps, still currently right now, headed down to Chase.
It's all about the silver drivers tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, we had 4 of them all within 20 points of each other. And if Dan Good gets a good result here, that championship is his. And I want to say I saw him in a practice server earlier this evening, and he was putting in right under 2:01 laps. So the boys in silver are going to have a tough job tonight staying
So
front.
I've got it as Simon's in the lead, Dan Cran 7 points behind, Dan Good 17 behind, Ryan Walker 20, Danny Durant's 37, Fazli Majid 63, and John Crown is 65 back. There was a couple others that are mathematically still in it, but I think 8's enough to keep our eyeballs on. But boy, I tell you, I think what I'm really looking at is Max, Dan, and Dan. You can even throw Ryan Walker in there. That's 20 points. You got to watch all the way to the end tonight, guys.
20 points is going to be tough. I mean, that'd be tough at any track, but it is about Panorama. Yeah,
that's right. And all it takes is one of these guys to smack a wall real good going over the mountain, and their race is going to be in big time jeopardy. So it could be a big mix-up at any point.
It's kind of like a NASCAR plate race. You can have the big one at any time and wipe out 8 guys, and one of these championship guys could be right in the middle of it, and they're gone, and they're done, and they finish 30th and have a nice night.
Yep.
So that's that. I'm concerned for the big one. This ain't like all the other tracks where you can have little wrecks. These are big.
Yep. No question. As we see Dan Cran pushing hard on his first hot lap here.
I think he invalidated it at some point. It's showing red here on my.
Excuse me, I said Cran. It's Dan Good. I apologize.
We need to make sure next season they're both not racing Beamers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Make it easier on us up here in the booth.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Make our job easier.
Yeah, we have Dan Good and Dan Better.
Looks like Carpenter decided to call it quits there. He had a yellow flag real quick.
Yep.
And Simmons here
Or
on a hot lap as well. He is quite a bit negative on the Delta right now as he comes towards the end of his lap. Smedo puts in his first lap at a 2:01.0. So that is quick qualifying right off the bat out of these guys. That's about the fastest lap I've ever done around Bathurst, and that's their banker lap. So
Please don't put me in D1 next season. I'm sorry. I enjoy being able to fight for a win, or at least have the opportunity for it.
Oh, good one, chat. Yeah, the better Dan made the better Dan win tonight. Yeah, it's true. All right, so we do have a few other guys completing laps now, all in the 201s. It takes me a minute to work up to the 201s, but these guys just go straight out and set them.
you got a 2:01.3 there in the practice server there, Big Shoots.
Yeah, after I practiced all day for it, you're right. I eventually got there.
Going
Hey,
from the
practice all day one Saturday as well.
Yeah, it's funny.
67.
All that 12-hour racing was in the rain, and this is a whole different ball game when this track's dry. I'll tell you what.
I almost like it better in the rain because it forces you just to take a little bit of caution, and nobody else is pushing to the absolute limit. But
How many times have you rolled it through Skyline? I've lost count at this point. All right, we get some more guys completing their second lap here. Fazli Majid surges out to the front with just a little bit faster, almost a 2:01 flat, just 5/100ths off of a flat 2:01. And speaking of Dan's, Dan Cran on a very hot lap right now, slinging this Audi through the course. He is on pace to take the pole as Good puts in a lap as a 100th quicker than the current pole sitter, Majid. And he takes the pole, but Crown now goes just a tiny bit faster, another 200ths off.
how many guys are we going to get within a tenth of each other here?
And sure enough, Dan Cran finally gets into the 2-minute mark, 2:0.85, as he completes his lap.
Very interesting. I want to see as
And
Max
Good is
runs his
almost a
over
half
here.
second. I lost it a bit there.
Yeah, let's take a look back at Good as he starts his trip up the mountain, leaving no margin there as he runs it right out next to the wall on every one of these corners, which you have to do when you're looking for that super fast lap time. Should be flat out all the way up this climb if you got your setup right. Gets it all the way to the left wall as he slings it into Skyline, avoids the curb.
There he is.
Smooth braking down. Slowest section of the course right through here as they come down these tight, twisty turns, coming back down the mountain, down into Forest Elbow, the slowest corner on the track. And then you just want to get smooth acceleration out of there because you are flat out for a very long time.
And there he goes down the hill. I want to see where he brakes. I mean, is he going to brake
See if we
between
can
the second and third marker?
hop on board.
Here you go. Or do you brake at the second marker?
Very close to the 100 board.
With me.
Yeah. Very late braking there out of him as he gains a little bit of time coming through Chase here. He will improve his lap time just a little bit. And he could jump up to the pole position here.
Just a little
Lost
bit under
time.
acceleration there.
Yep. Got a little bit squirrely coming out of the final corner, but he does jump up to 4th place with a 2:01 right on the money. 2:01.
Louis in the pits, but he's currently
Second place.
second in the silvers.
He might have just decided,
Absolutely.
you know what, that's the best I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call it when I see it, and be done. It looks like we have an off from Simons at some point. He reset to pit, and Danny Durant's here, riding on, checking out his Audi as he
He just took back that pole position in the Aston Martin.
sure did. He got a 2:0.81.
Am I right? There's a point for well, that's not gonna be a point for taking pole and silver. Sorry about that.
Is it pole overall or is it pole per class? Because there is a. Okay.
Yeah. So, but what I'm finding interesting is our point leader Max Simons is 9th. You got Louis Williams, Samedo ahead. Very interesting. Now, Majeed's not out of this thing for the championship yet.
Wow, Good just made up a ton of time through this section this lap as he went way up coming into Forrest's elbow. Let's see if he can carry that speed down the straight. Does look like what he gained going into the corner, he did lose a little bit down the long straight afterwards, but he's still holding that about 0.2 up from his previous best effort as he slings it down towards Chase here. Breaks just before the 100-meter board, brings it down nice and smooth. Back on the power. Losing a little bit of time coming out of there, though. See if he can get the last corner. He bobbled the last corner last lap, so he does have time to make up there more than likely. Yes, sir, he sure does.
Oh, wow.
He surges out of that corner and jumps to the pole with a 2:08.78.
Stand by for John Crown.
Crown up as he goes into second place. Good calls it quits for his qualifying effort, and Crown as well. So our silver drivers wrap up their qualifying as our gold drivers take the course. And Kerstetter has yet to leave the pit for qualifying. Interesting strategy. But we do have some of our gold drivers on course here. Let's take a look at Mr. Griffith as he slings his Porsche up the mountain.
Really staying over our top 5, all within a tenth of each other, around a track that, what are we looking at, 3 miles, 4 miles?
Almost 4 miles, yeah. And a 2-minute lap time to be that close is unheard of in real racing. In sim racing, it happens, but yeah, you can just see as we ride on board here with Griffith how close, even on I mean, he's on his warm-up lap right now, and this is how close he's putting the car to the wall. On every exit and entry of these corners. These guys leave it inch perfect on every part of the track, even when they're just warming up the tires.
Let's see where he breaks that coming down the Conrad. Let's see if he gets to the 100 board.
Just about. And again, this is still warm-up lap. He doesn't even have the car up full temp yet. But he is coming to start his first hot lap as he is our first driver on course of the gold drivers. So we'll kind of track him through his whole lap here. Let's see if we can get an overhead view of that beautiful Porsche livery for the evening. Yeah, Mr. Matty, I would die driving like that on my out lap as well, 100%. In fact, I think I did earlier tonight.
Yeah. My friend Larry died on the mountain.
I heard about that earlier. But his final words were epic.
Yes, they were.
Now, I can't help but think some Australian watched the Monaco Grand Prix one Sunday and then went to his buddy and said, "Hold my beer, y'all. Watch this."
Oh, absolutely.
And then proceeded to put Monaco on the side of the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah. So there were only 11 silvers in the field tonight. 16 are of our pro drivers. Field tonight.
Oh, Griffith does get a little wide going into Skyline there. That would be an invalidated lap for him, unfortunately, as he tries to put in his first hot lap effort. Nordstrom, his teammate, let's flip over and see if he can keep it on track. Right now, he's setting a pretty decent lap.
Kerstetter just started his first flying lap.
Yeah, for some reason, he stayed in the pits late. He did not come right out as soon as the gold drivers were able to take the track, so...
Well, your second or third lap here is your hot lap, so you really only need about 7 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe he just wanted to wait until he knew there was not going to be any traffic around him, didn't want to have to worry about spacing himself out or anything like that.
Yep.
You can see on our track map his number 1 car with plenty of space both behind and in front of him.
Yeah, to speak to that point of trying to build a gap, I know when I go out qualifying and there's that traffic jam at the final corners, everybody starts to go, it does get you a little bit out of rhythm. It's better just to do your out lap and be able to immediately go through the final corner as normal.
Yeah, it is interesting to me how we, as organized and as experienced as SRA is, we still all sometimes, for some reason, hurry up through our outlap and then have to stack up at the end of it. It's like, you could just go slowly through your outlap and let the gap build so you can go flat out by the end. But for some reason, it never works out like that.
It's part of the experience.
All right, we are getting some good lap times now out of our gold drivers. Nixon has currently put the best effort in from the gold drivers with a 2-minute .872, which puts him in 5th place provisionally. As Nordstrom is continuing his effort around the track here. Let's check out Mr. Vasquez as he is 0.3 up on his previous best effort of the 201.05. Great looking livery on his BMW tonight.
Hey, look at that.
Nixon absolutely flying up 4/10 right now. Oh, half a second now.
My goodness, he has made up a ton of time. Let's flip over there and see what he is doing. Let's take a ride on board as we head down the hill towards Forest Elbow. Tightest section of the course right here.
It is.
Wow, he was so
Are we going to see a sub 2-minute lap?
Oh, absolutely we are.
Conditions are right. Optimum track, 25-29. I would say that's just about as good as it gets here at Bathurst, and we should see some very quick times out of these guys.
Absolutely.
Although I think honestly, the intensity has waned a little bit with the holiday being stuck in there. It seems like a lot of guys are just kind of like, it's going to be a fun race at Bathurst, but I'm not too worried about being the fastest guy on the track this week. But I think when the race starts, everybody's racer intuition is going to kick in, and they're going to want to win. We're going to see some fast and intense racing once it's game time. Nixon does slap it on pole with a 2-minute .255. Vasquez close behind him with a 2-minute .36, and Flamger gets it up there too with a 2-minute .5. Spangler coming in close behind, only 400ths off of him. And Gomer Wilson sticks it on 5th place as we move our silver drivers down. Top silver drivers now in 7th place as Mercer claims the pole with a 159.9. Sure enough, broke that 2-minute barrier.
Woo-hoo. So I'm doing a little advanced mathematics here. So it looks like Travis Nordstrom just needs to finish 17th or better. Is all he's got to do tonight, and that is if Manning as long as Manning doesn't, if Manning wins the race, Nordstrom's got to finish 17th.
Okay.
That's the those are the metrics we're looking at. And let's see here. And then, of course, Ed Kerstender's on back a little bit. I think it may be too far back for him to really get a good look at this. But I guess that's what we got in gold. In silver, it's Never Banned for himself. I think it was like 10 or 11 mathematically still in it. I only counted down to 8.
Right now we got Flamger on a very hot lap. He's currently sitting in 4th place. He's losing a little time now coming down off the mountain. Let's see if somehow that McLaren finds a little extra speed on the straightaway here. The turbos are up to full temp. He's just about 2/10 up as he comes through the flat-out right-hander, down to chase, hard on the brakes, smooth entry, back on the power, gaining time, looking very nice. Coming into our final corner here, if he gets this clean, he will be moving up probably to second place.
Second.
Yeah, he does get to 3rd. He lost a little time coming through the final corner there as he got a little wide. Looks like Spangler might have put it off the track. Oh, looks like there might have been an incident with a couple of cars there. And he is still sitting.
Almost 8/10 too at that point.
Bummer. Brooker Quigg putting in a solid lap right now. He's about 4/10 on his previous effort as he finished his lap with a 2-minute .43.
You know, I think last few races, I've just keep saying that the two BMW boys, Mercer and Nixon, I keep saying, hey, look at that. Aren't they just finishing in the top 5? And aren't they finishing in the top 7 or 8? And here they are 4 points back as a team. And this is kind of like the playoff race. This is when you got to do it. Hey, there's a Porsche that's all up against the wall. But and here they are. Here they are again.
And we have Griffith down in 21st place.
Yeah.
And Nordstrom in 4th place. But still, Mercer and Nixon 1st and 2nd.
Yep.
We still have an hour of racing to go, but if that result were to hold, we're looking at our team champions.
No doubt.
Yeah. And if you notice the practice lap leaderboard, BMWs were really, really good. So I don't have any reason to believe those BMWs aren't going to be really good tonight. This could be their championship to win.
Mr. Sir coming in here, putting in a very hot lap as he finishes out and jumps way up the leaderboard to 3rd place. Starting our second row as he finished his final lap of qualifying, puts in a 2-minute .31. Very solid lap from him out of
Check
the
out Quig
Aston
in that
Martin.
Mercedes.
Quig is putting
3.5 right now.
Putting in a hot lap indeed. Coming down the fast section here towards Chase. Brakes at the 100 board. Smooth in.
It's going to be close.
Lose a little bit of time coming out of Chase, but not much. If he gets a good final corner here, he will be jumping up the leaderboard a little bit. Oh, he gets a little wide there, loses a little time. Goes to 2nd place. Very nice lap out of him.
Nice.
One more out of the champions, or the could-be champ, Manning, as he comes across the line and finishes his qualifying effort with no improvement. He qualifies 8th place tonight and decides to put on a little show as he's done with his qualifying session. And Kerstetter finishing his final lap here as he will improve his lap time quite a bit. Still not 1st place, but he will move up to 8th. So demote Manning 1 position there as they battled out last race we did. He and Manning had quite the battle there at Laguna Seca, and hope to see him battling it out again tonight. So that's our qualifying, folks. Mercer, your pole sitter, as he put in the only one in the 159s, the only one sub 2 minute was a 159.977. So just barely under that 2 minute mark, but about 0.3 over everybody else. And here we go. We are in our race now, and we are going to jump on board with our pole sitter, and we are going to do a little bit of a grid walk as my friend Maxie Poe counts it down for us here.
One more time, Maxie.
All right. Tonight for our season finale, we have Mercer in his BMW starting it off on pole. Coming to 2nd place tonight, Brooker Quig in that beautiful Mercedes. Nixon starting 3rd tonight. Mr. Sir in the Lego Aston starting 4th tonight. Flemanger in the top placed McLaren starting 5th. Our championship leader, Travis Nordstrom, starting 6th tonight. We have Vasquez in the 3rd Beamer tonight in the top 10, starting 7th. We have last season's champion, Ed Kerstetter, starting 8th. Next, we have our perennial winner this season, Michael Manning, starting 9th in that NSX. We have Codromo in the Audi tonight, starting 10th. Moving back to outside the top 10 at 11th place, Jeff Spangler in the McLaren. We have Specht in another Mercedes tonight, starting 12th. 13th, we have Wilson in the Interstate Battery Audi. 14th place, we have the first of our silver drivers with Dan Good in the BMW. 15th place, we have Crown in the McLaren. Bosley Majid starting 16th tonight in the Aston Martin. We have Dan Cran in another Audi tonight starting 17th. We have Louis in the McLaren starting 18th. We have O'Brien in the first of the Lamborghinis starting 19th tonight. We have Williams in the BMW starting 20th. Griffith in the Porsche, who is Nordstrom's teammate. We need to keep an eye on that one tonight. Robinson in the Lamborghini starting 22nd. Tomato in the McDonald's McLaren starting 23rd. Dominic Durant in the second of the Interstate Battery Audi starting 24th. We have Carpenter in the McLaren starting 25th. Simmons in the Porsche starting 26th. And tonight, rounding out the grid, we have Velez in the McLaren.
And there we go, folks. There is your grid for this evening as we look towards the sun on this late afternoon race going into the evening at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Australia. We will be ready for an awesome race this evening. Hope you guys are strapped in as we get ready to go. Here's your pole setter Mercer as he leads them off on our formation lap. So back to the story with our silver drivers here. Got Dan Good qualifying out front. It's his race to lose at this point. And Crown, Majid, Dan Cran back there just a couple positions behind. So he will be challenging, and I'm sure Crown's right there too for the overall silver championship. And we will be watching these guys closely, as well as our leaders, of course, to keep track of our fastest guys on the track.
New info coming in.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Let's see. We've got something I missed in the chat from Matty A. Let's see. Dan Cran says the washer on my brakes, my sprints literally snapped during my last lap of qualifying.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's going to be tough to drive with no brakes at this track.
Just dropping my KG and hoping it survives an hour. Ow!
Wow.
He's got photographs of the washer. Yikes! So that just got interesting, didn't it?
Sure did. I wondered. Now, another thing that was really interesting during qualifying is Griffith did not really get a clean hot lap in. He's all the way down in 21st, as we mentioned during the grid walk. And he's going to have some pace, but he's also going to have some guys to try to get around. So we'll see how much he can make his way through the field from 21st spot.
There's a lot of guys that got to make up a lot of spots if they're going to get where they're trying to go to. I see they got a long way to go and a short time to get there, as somebody wise once said.
Well, I don't know if they're going east, but they might be trucking.
Well, a fourth of a lap they're going east.
Get a view with some of our other drivers. Nate Specht here as he's Mercedes, silver Mercedes. He's been running all season. Coadromo in his Audi, DoorDash Audi. Ed Kerstetter in his McLaren.
All right, gentlemen, as we go green here, I know these guys at the front always give on a great show, but I'm going to be keeping a good eye on this silver battle down here. So if I cut you off, I'm going to go ahead and apologize in advance.
All right. We'll go ahead and bring up your picture-in-picture so you can go ahead and keep us abreast of what's going on further back in the action. And meantime, we'll keep a close eye on this race out front as Mercer brings them down the back straightaway here into chase as they get formed up 2x2, ready to go racing this evening. And I hope you guys are ready. Thanks for joining us here on our final stream of this season 9 here at SRA. Thanks so much to everybody who comes out and supports us here. We just can't wait to do this most nights. Half the time I think we have more fun than we do racing. So thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. And I hope you enjoy the broadcast this evening as we get ready to go racing here at Bathurst, Mount Panorama Circuit. It's going to be a tight one, and let's see if the big one happens. I'm not even going to mention it again. That's the last time I'm going to say anything about it.
So we got Brooker Quick's Mercedes has split the BMWs, but the BMWs are both on the inside line. Also, I just noticed, really paid attention to it, that Mr. Sir in the Aston Martin is starting fourth. That car has been lousy here. boy, that's a heck of a lap to get him in there. Let's see what he does when it starts. Take it away, guys.
Here we go, guys. Coming to the line. They're going to get all of them onto the front straight before it goes green. That's why there's the extra start-finish line that's different than the usual start, and they are off and away for the final race of Season 9. Here goes Division 1. Mercer into the first corner, takes the inside, but Nixon dives up the inside of Brooker Quigg and takes over second place with a fantastic move to start his race as he takes that second place away. Mr. Sir maintains fourth. Everybody else kind of falls in line behind, but Mr. Sir staying right alongside Brooker as he seems to have been a little slow off the start. They're coming down into the first right-hander here as they start their climb up the mountain for the first time, and Mr. Sir finally thinks better of running side by side through that section, and it looks like
We have our first
Flamger.
big one.
And it's Dan Cran.
Oh no, our
And
silver
Durant.
driver leader. Let's see if we can get a replay of that situation, but we're going to stay with the lead action here for now. And meanwhile, we have Kerstetter has lost a position as they continue to try to go side by side up the mountain. At this point, if you don't go single file, you are doing nothing but losing time, and you really got to get it tucked in. And it's hard to do that if you've already lost a position. Manning has also dropped a position as well, so both of our strong contenders from last week have lost positions at the start, but they are safe through the skyline section of the track as they head down the mountain for the first time. Our leaders are keeping it nice and clean as we head out of Forest Elbow down the hill towards Chase, and everybody seems to have kind of fallen in line now.
Danny Durant's just wrecked it.
Okay, he already teleported back to the pit, which threw off all my telemetry and said he was in first place. That's not true, if that's saying it anywhere on your guys' screens. Here we do have a little bit of a battle going into Chase between Vasquez and Kerstetter. Kerstetter taking that position back that he lost at the start. He wasted no time in getting back around him. And right in front of him, Brooker Quigg gets super loose coming through that section, and he also takes that position away.
Nordstrom, though, up to fourth place, doing exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, up to third now.
In third place, excuse me.
But we got pitters, guys. We have 7 in the pits.
Yeah, I noticed in the practice race, a lot of guys getting out of traffic right away and pitting early in this race, which isn't a bad strategy if you can fall behind far enough that you're not going to immediately run into traffic again. So it looks like we have about 8-9 guys in the pit lane right now. Manning, Griffith, Sir, Spangler, Robinson, Sumedo, Wilson, Carpenter, Durant, and Cran all hit the pit lane right off the first lap.
Manning's out. Spangler's out.
Going back up front, our BMW boys are running away from everybody else. Mercer and Nixon have pulled out a 3.2 second gap over Nordstrom. If we ride on board with Nordstrom, he can't even see them already. They've disappeared. Those BMWs very strong at this track this week, and they are just disappearing over the mountain every time we go through it. Lambs are close on the back of Nordstrom here, though, as they descend the mountain. And it looks like Coadromo just did an overtake back here. Let's see if we can get some footage on that. Apologies here.
We
as
have
I try to
Oswald
get this.
Machid, though, running 10th place right now, doing all he can to make up that ground in silver.
Indeed, he is still a contender. First place in Silver Drivers right now.
He's 63 behind. So he's got a lot of guys to jump because he's in what? 4th, 5th, he's in 6th. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Flanger makes it around Nordstrom here as well. Let's see if we can take a look back down the straightaway here. Looks like he gets a good run out of Forest Elbow. And, just overtakes him with sheer, flat-out straightaway speed into the fast right-hander. Runs him a little wide and just breaks a little later and takes that position. Nice work. Specht diving into the pits. So is Williams.
Mercer and Nixon really gunning for that team championship right now.
Big time. They have pulled out a nice lead. As long as they just follow each other through the rest of the corners, they should have no problems.
And looking at the pit stops right now, we're looking at about 35 seconds time in the pit. So Griffith right now is roughly 40 seconds off the lead. So if everybody were to pit right now, that would put him about 5th place. So still not enough to hold off those Beamers.
Those BMWs are quick. I think we had a couple comments in the chat about they should have had a little more weight added to them for this track.
You know what, Amy Schumer and James Court?
Quote of the season.
Tomorrow night, SRA.
So, I'll tell you, let's talk Fazli Majid right quick. He's already passed Danny Durant's, Ryan Walker, and probably Dan Cran. That's 4 that were ahead of him.
Yeah. Now, Dan Cran did go to pits, so he did make that pass when Cran pitted.
He's got a lot of damage, though, and so he may not be fast coming out.
So Cran was in the pits for a minute, and he was stopped 33 seconds.
Sorry.
To me, that sounds like repairing the damage. But still, there is that residual damage that you carry as a driver. Is my car truly fit? And it will make you slower. You're exactly right, Andrew.
Yeah, right now Majid trying to break that toe going down the straightaway. We saw him weaving down the straightaway to try to shake that McLaren off of his draft as they come through, and he gets super loose coming out of chase, but somehow corrals that car back together and still holds the inside defensive line into the final corner as they go side by side onto the front straight, and he still holds on to that position. But boy, he is sure in jeopardy from Louis pushing hard behind him in second place of our silver drivers. Then they make a little bit of contact into T1, but they both come through safely. But it looks like now Louis has lost that position to Good as he continues to push back towards the front.
So there's your silver championship right there with Dan Good being Dan really good right now.
Indeed, side by side coming down into the fast right-hander to start the climb up the mountain as Dan Good loses control of the car and spins out right there. Oh no, let's take a look back at that, folks, as he was side by side with Louis here and come into this corner side by side. It's super hard to take the high line into this corner, and it looks like he just got up on those marbles a little bit loose, and the car came right around him. We talked about those Beamers being strong, but it wasn't strong enough right there as he loses quite a few positions, drops down to 14th place.
Next item up for bids, the silver championship. We'll open the bidding at $1.
Now, Velez.
I'm going to be anxious to see real quick if Louis...
Oh, my goodness.
Go ahead.
That is quite a wreck. I've done that myself a couple times through that section. It's so easy when the car gets light over that crest. Here, let's go back and look at it again, folks. So right here, as you come into Skyline, this crest right here, if you try to carry too much speed right there, it gets light in the back end, and it just comes around on you so quickly, as we just saw Velez do that with his
Felicia.
McLaren, and he will have substantial damage to the front end of that car.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time just keeping it straight.
He's either got a Mick or a Laren, but he doesn't have both.
Louis has got around Fazli Majid.
Yep.
He sure did. Let's see if we can get a good look at that. Go back. Louis, I didn't catch it soon enough.
In the corner.
Yeah, he must have did it on the mountain, basically.
He was down 2 seconds into Skyline, so my guess is lock up into Bentley corner and...
Yep. Majid must have had a bad exit there, and he got around him right away. Velez now going to the pit, as we would expect, to repair the damage he did to his McLaren. Kerstetter here is not far off the back of Travis Nordstrom at this point. He started in 8th place and has made his way up to 5th already and is in the hunt for 4th place right here as he is going to put some pressure on our current championship leader, Travis Nordstrom.
And down there in the picture-in-picture, currently on board with Fazli Majid chasing Louis up the mountain, just to give the viewers at home a little taste of how intense it is around here.
You know, who we haven't talked about is John Crown, because he's only 2 points behind Fazli in the points for 6th and 7th going in. And so this is a battle with those two as their nose to tail. That actually is for looking like 3rd and 4th. And if anything goes bad for the other guys, it get more interesting than that. But now let's see, where's Max Simons at?
He's in 12th place right now.
He's all right then.
See some action with Brooker Quigg here. He gets a little loose going through Skyline, and Coadromo pounces on that position in a heartbeat. He does keep it from the wall, though, and continues after losing just one position.
Coadromo also with the fastest lap of the race right now at 2:01.5 even.
Very nice.
So the Audis have the most weight this week, I believe. I believe they were deemed to be the most OP of the bunch.
Really?
I think they got the most weight. I will double check that for us.
Fazli Majid is, after losing that position to Louis here, has not let the gap grow. So he is driving hard right now to try to reel that position back in, as he would like to finish first overall in silver, but I'm pretty sure Louis would as well. We haven't seen much of Louis as far as higher in the results this season, and maybe this is his track to finally get it done. Jeet is catching him on those straightaways, though.
Look at that. See,
All over him.
that twin turbo is great on these long straights, but it just stinks in the twisty bits. Is he really able to recover that much speed? So Audi, McLaren are getting 20 kilos, and the Lamborghini gets 10 bags of blow. Everybody else is neutral or less.
Oh man.
You got to check that box on this stream now, guys. We're talking about
Little Bolivian marching powder.
We're going to get flagged for inappropriate content here on Twitch, apparently.
Snooters.
All right. So, bringing it back to the legal spectrum real quick.
There you go.
Let's go look at Velez's pit time real quick. So he was in the pit for 47 seconds. So that was a very significant amount of damage, because we're only looking about 4 or 5 seconds here for a good splash and dash. So be anxious to see if he can make up any ground. As far as the Majid's making a move, going around the outside.
Oh, it's so impressive.
Got him under braking.
Wow, let's see if we can go back and look at that again, as he gets a better run on a forced elbow. Much the same way he lost a position, he gets the run this time and goes around the outside on the fast, which is actually the better place to be on that corner, because then you get the inside line here into chase.
Look at that.
Very nicely done.
Absolutely. That's how you do it, guys.
He holds on to that position. First place silver, 9th place overall. And the other driver I was focusing on for a second here was one we talked about earlier, was Griffith. He's only made up one position. Started 21st. He's still in 20th. He's got Gomer Wilson there in front of him. And I believe Gomer Wilson, both of them have already pitted. So they are in the green light drivers. Straight fight to the end with those guys. As he...
So let's take a look at... Griffith's got a yellow flag on him.
Oh, no. Looks like we had major problems with Griffith, just as I talked about him here. He looks like he got a little wide on the final corner, and then he is going to come into turn 1 and get out on the curbing into the grass, and, just loses the back end of the car and comes across. That is a pretty hard hit into the wall there. That is unfortunately going to be quite a bit of damage, and I think he might have just... I think he might have just called it a night.
There goes the team championship chances for them. That's done. Yeah, that one's done.
Yeah, his teammate Travis Nordstrom still running 4th place, but with only one driver scoring points on the evening, that makes it pretty difficult.
I think Nordstrom could win the race, and Mercer and Nixon could finish, 22nd, 23rd tonight still.
So
we'll overhaul them.
I think Mercer and Nixon are still doing pretty well out front, though. Still 2 seconds out front.
Of that happening.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Like for team championship, they look great because with Kerstetter in 5th, but you've got Spangler, who's already pitted, and he's only 32 seconds off the lead, and he's pitted.
Okay.
What does it tell us?
Okay. That is very true,
doesn't it? Also, and Manning's only 35 and a half, Spec 37.
Yeah, Sir's only 32 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Boy, that lead doesn't look so fine anymore, does it?
Now, I'll keep an eye on the lap times here, and just going off the last lap time, Mr. Sir better than our leaders. So
doing extremely well. Those Aston Martins seem to be, they must have found some setup sorcery around this track to get those Astons to get over the mountain as quick as they are. That or that twin turbo V8 just gets really screaming down those long straightaways and makes it all up there.
Well, they gave their 20 bags to the guys in the McLaren and the Audi. So they're 20 bags light.
That was the handoff. All right.
Yeah, that was the deal that was made.
They might not make it through the night giving off that many bags, but
they have distributed their bags. They have distributed their bags to other parties. But yeah, I'm fascinated. If it's 35 seconds in the pits, that means we've already got 2-3 guys that are they're already ahead of them. But there's nothing they can do about it. Pitting now doesn't help them any. They got no traffic ahead of them, so you got what you got now.
Yeah. Now, unless
Mr.
they start
Stir 8 seconds to good in front of him.
Yeah.
That is, what is your about 16 laps of good running going off of the lap times here?
Yeah.
10 minutes to go.
Mr. Sir could be challenging for the lead big time. Yeah. Unless the guys up front, Mercer and Nixon, are holding a little bit back and they're going to turn it on here towards the end of their stint before they pit. We will see. Time will tell.
Boy, unless they get really fast, I don't think there's anything they can do.
Louis all over the back of Majid again.
I think it was well noted in the practice that the McLarens also were just lightning fast all the way up the hill. They were picking up a lot of speed on guys. Let's see what it looks like. He certainly didn't lose anything to the twin turbo, did he?
He's all over in his mirrors. He's making him think he's crazy. And
Absolutely.
we will see right here. He is all over the back of that Aston coming up the mountain. That's no doubt. And
he's on a pack of wild dogs on a three-legged cat.
both of the McLarens, because Crown has now joined the battle, as it looks like Majid is starting to struggle just a little bit on this, at least on this lap. He's lost some time, but now that once they build out towards the top of the mountain there, the power band on the Aston starts to get a little bit better. But down through this twisty section again.
And Simmons, our silver class leader, is also pulling up to the back of them. But as all of our racers at home could attest to, watching Majid and Louis here battle it out, Crown is in the best position. You're in third place. You can see who's doing what. And we've all been there. You feel like you can gain 2 places at once watching 2 guys battle it out, because you can see what's going to happen.
Yeah. You can also track their braking points quite a bit and see if it is time to make a move. Where is one quicker than the other? Oh, now look at this. Louis decides to dive to the pit.
He's out of it.
He might have felt like he was getting held up there, and he's going to get some open track. Let's see where he comes back out. It's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Right behind Williams would be my guess. Right, P21.
Yep.
All right. In the meantime, we're going to skip over to another battle that's developing here for third place, as Nordstrom has a pretty tight gap to Flamger in front of him. And they have closed that gap up to Nixon and Mercer.
That's fascinating.
What do you got, Andrew?
Just that they're closing it up. We know the McLaren is fast in a straight line. I don't know that the Porsche's got that much straight line top end speed. Oh, Louis got to stop and go 30.
Unfortunately, that is going to drop him right out of contention.
Yep, that'll do him right there. But they closed that gap up to our leaders. I just don't know if Mercer and Nixon are going to be able to hold on to enough to win the. Well, Can they win a championship? Let me do some. I'm doing
Well, they're
math
getting
again.
off for a half a second a lap slower.
Yeah.
Windsor and Nordstrom, but again, let's just say Nordstrom somehow gets up to second place. Mercer outscoring Nordstrom alone would be enough for that championship.
Mhm.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, unfortunately, with
Well-
Griffith taking an early retirement tonight, that pretty much ends Nordstrom's chance of a double championship with the driver and the team championship.
Yeah. So I don't think that Kerstetter and Spangler. Well, find
Spangler would
out.
have to move up quite a bit to make that a
He's going
reality.
to. Right now, if you add the pit stop, he's in the lead.
Ah, Mr. Sir would be the only one
That
ahead
is
of him.
true.
That's true.
Well, yeah,
That's true.
and he's irrelevant at the moment for this one.
And
So
For team standings, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
points go down dramatically after the top three. So,
oh, Majid and Simons are both in. Oh, Majid's in. Excuse me, Simons not in.
Yeah, Louis back
Majid
into
is in.
service penalty.
Yep. So
Unfortunately, that 30-second stop is just an absolute killer with the race setup we have with our standard pit stops, with only the guys taking a minimum fuel. Oh wow, Nordstrom gets a little loose there, but a 30-second stop time is just absolutely deadly in these races for a D1 driver.
yeah, that's like an extra 2 pit stops.
Now Majid
just the-
looks like he came out now, even ahead of Mr. Sir after that pit stop.
Majid's showing 18th for me.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
I don't think he's out of the pits yet. I think he's still dropping.
Ah, okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong standings. Apologies, folks.
Take a look here. Never
Yeah,
happens
just
to
so
me.
everyone at home knows, the timing tower on your screens updates every sector.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll see dramatic jumps in the timing differences and deltas. Is there's 3 sectors around a lap. You know, you gain a half a second on somebody. So that's why you'll see them jump so much. And sometimes you'll see this blank area like we have right now on Burger Quig. And it'll slowly go down through the timing page.
Yeah, good point. The telemetry that we have access to is a little bit more up to date than that, and I was looking at the at the regulars timing tower instead of our up to date one.
With Simmons being so close to Crown here, I was expecting Dan Good here to close the gap, and the exact opposite has happened. It was about 3 seconds when Simmons closed up to Crown, and it's back to 5 seconds now. I'm not sure if
Robinson dives to the pit.
No, he didn't dive to the pit. That was a teleportation.
Robinson had some troubles on the course.
Yeah, he was in that squiggly bit.
Yeah, right there, about where that camera just cut to for half a second there. I tried to get a replay of that action, but was not quick enough on the button.
And wouldn't you know, the skyline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Every
From
time,
cutting to first, cutting to first elbow should just be called the squiggly bit.
During the 12-hour race, that's all we kept telling each other. Just keep it together to the squiggly bit.
yeah.
There's no need to name corners. Everybody knows the squiggly bit.
Yeah. Take it easy over the mountain, pretty much every time. As we see Spangler trying to reel in Mr. Sir here. You see McLaren on Aston action again as it was the same battle we saw basically developing with Louis and I'm sorry, Fazli Majid, Mr. Sir's teammate.
Well, I'm still watching this Majid versus Crown Simons Good. Right now, he's 28 seconds behind Crown for the talking silver.
Yeah.
That would have him winning tonight's race in silver. It's not going to be enough unless Simons
has
and Good have a problem.
Yeah, and Crown would have to have a
Simons and Good.
problem as well, wouldn't they?
They both would.
Yeah.
He's ahead of Crown by 2 points.
Okay.
So anyway, he's got to beat Crown's all he's got to do, but Simons and Good are going to have pretty monumental failures. But
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Good were to get around Simmons, if he could gain enough positions.
Oh, yeah, you would too. All he has to do is beat him. He's down by 7 points. And most
Good
of
is down
these
by
are-
17 currently.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got Dan Cran. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, Cran is down the 7 points. And, we were talking about the 30 seconds being a lifetime around this track. And Dan Cran did have that 30 seconds due to damage. He's down in 21st and hasn't made up any spot since then. So I'm not sure Cran, unless something dramatic happens to Simmons or Good, I'm not sure Cran still has a chance here.
Close-up view of this Lego wall as they go side by side, starting to climb up the mountain. He had to just make him go defensive there. But as we get a close-up view under the wing on the back of that car, it looks like they have the copy pasta underneath that wing. What a great addition to delivery.
Yeah. So therefore, Dan Good would have to beat Simons by 2 positions. Make it 3 positions to overtake him. But that's overall 3 positions, not just at the silvers.
Right.
Yeah.
So Crown's got a yellow flag on him.
Crown has made an error, it looks like. Let's see if we can catch out what happened here as he gets into Skyline, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah.
He's a little hot in there.
Right there.
But what happens here? Yep, he just gets loose on the second part of it. That's a little bit less likely place to lose it, but still happened. And unfortunately, that is going to put him in the pits to repair some damage more than likely.
Another victim.
We could pull up Nordstrom and Kerstetter here real quick. I know I told everybody at home I'd be watching the silvers tonight, but Kerstetter has closed the gap down to a half a second on Nordstrom.
Yes, quite a bit. And they're actually forming quite a train, 1st through 5th up here, all within about a second of each other. Nixon, the furthest gap, about a second and a half off of his teammate Mercer in the lead. But these 2nd through 5th place are just getting kind of a nice little train going as we head up the mountain. A good little gaggle, and we will see if they can serve up some action for us. Spangler's still struggling back here behind Mr. Sir as well, keeping that gap awful tight as he gets another run down this straight. We'll take another look here at the back of the Lego wall as he tries to find a way to bust through those bricks.
That was the first gaggle of the evening.
Yeah, we were almost halfway through the race before we got a gaggle in.
Yeah. But we're not even halfway through. We've already had a lot of carnage.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
I think at this point...
I don't want to give... Go ahead, Dudley.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't want to give anybody too much insight into our team strategy here, but last week at Laguna Seca, I was trying to build a gap between yourself and me so that way you could go and challenge for the lead. I just wonder, is that maybe what Nixon is trying to do here, is let his teammate get a good lead out in front. He's just staying off of him because he knows he can keep that McLaren Porsche behind him.
That could be. He is keeping Flamger and Nordstrom kind of bottled up a little bit back there as he lets Mercer run away with it. And that would be a good team strategy as just if both of them finish in those current positions right now, they will absolutely blow everybody away with the team championship.
And Michael Griffith has the quote of the night in the Discord chat. He says, "Well, GG's, boys. I suck."
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. That's the quote of the night.
He looked like he had a little bit of trouble shaking the rust off after the holiday break. Maybe a little bit too much fruitcake over the Christmas season. And it's so easy for it to happen so quickly. I mean, these D1 drivers are driving at a level that requires pinpoint accuracy on every corner. And if you don't have it, you're going to be in big trouble real quick. As we continue to watch this battle. Go ahead.
Down in the picture-in-picture, we have Vasquez on Brooker Quigg. It was getting really dicey there for a second. I'm going to switch to a different view. That way we can see Brooker Quigg up ahead a little easier.
So he's lost a little time to him now.
Yeah, under braking, they almost came together. And I think Vasquez kind of backed it off a little bit to avoid that contact.
As usually happens when you get a little too close to another car, it freaks you out a little bit. It's time to maybe just reappraise the situation and maybe let the tires cool down for a second and make another go at it.
Well, I tell you, let's meanwhile back at the motel. We're looking at our pit deltas, and Spangler at 32 and change, 34 and change. You know, Mr. Sir's ahead of him, but he's not the championship points. Spangler and Manning are 34 and 38, 39 seconds back from our leaders, so they're now outside the window, which would retain the lead for Mercer Nixon.
Yeah. Okay.
Mercer Nixon,
Yeah.
Sir Nixon
Mr.
is-
Sir right now is 33.4.
So
Yeah.
they grew that gap back out then.
yes, they did. Sir, you know, Sir is holding his own. Sir could be trying to win this race, by the way. That'd be interesting.
Well, looks like
However-
Crown lost a position to Good back here. Let's see if we can see what happened to him. And in the meantime, Flamger has been making a couple of runs at Nixon up there, and we will see if we can keep an eye on that battle. But right here, it looks like Good just got a better run out of Forest Elbow and just walked around him on the straight with that BMW.
Wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did we not just see Crown lose it through Skyline?
A Crown,
he
yeah.
could've-
And he was still had that better straight line speed. That's impressive.
No, he lost out right there because of his straight line speed. Yeah, that was it. He
Oh,
decided to pit to repair that damage now after seeing the speed deficit on the straightaway.
Yep.
Good point. Spangler now all over the back of Mr. Sir as they come down the straightaway again. He's going to try it on the outside again around that Lego brick wall. Nothing doing there. He cannot find a way to bust those bricks.
You know, Nixon to Mercer now has grown to 2.6, 2.7 now, second. I can't help but think that Nixon is just trying to make sure Mercer wins this race.
Yeah. Now, if Mercer does win this race, where is he in the Drivers' Championship?
Let me pull that up for you.
He's a little further back.
So currently, Nixon is the highest ranked of the two, 150 points off the lead. So doesn't have a shot at winning tonight. But Mercer is 167 off.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
too
would
big
be
of a
more than
deficit.
fifth.
Yeah.
Yep. 110 is, for those watching, 110 is the max points.
And you can get 111 if you also get the fastest lap.
Yep.
Which currently belongs to our championship leader, Mr. Nordstrom.
Mr.
In the
Nordstrom.
Porsche.
Indeed. Wow.
And they are all close together here. Nixon has Fleminger, 0.4 off, and then 0.4 off of Fleminger is Nordstrom.
And Flammer gets on Spangler gets on the inside of Mr. Sir there, but it becomes the outside on Chase. And Mr. Sir is doing a fantastic job of defending in all the places he needs to with that Aston. But it seems like it's almost a matter of time for that McLaren to make things happen. It looks like Valles has had a problem again, unfortunately, as he is not having the best race this evening. And it looks like he just gets hot into Chase down there.
Spangler is setting Sir up. His little feint is just trying to put him off into. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, if Spangler hits the back of that Aston Martin, there's going to be damage for 40 square blocks.
Stop it. No, that was...
And that's Lego damage. Okay.
Yeah, Lego my damage. Oh, wow. I hope that makes the highlight reel.
I just want to say we were talking about McPhillamy Corner earlier.
Yeah.
I don't want to get us... I want to keep this PG-13. I don't want to...
That's good, yeah. Yeah, let's not go there. Here we ride on board with Flamger as he continues to press on Nixon. He just seems to have a little more straightaway speed here. But I'm wondering if you're right. I'm wondering if Nixon isn't just purposely backing this up a little bit and knowing, like, hey, he's not going to be able to get around me, and continuing to grow that gap to Mercer out front. Is
he the Minister of Defense?
Yeah.
He's playing this part of Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
Well, I drive the McLaren in the team series, as Dudley does as well, and he can attest to this. We have a lot of speed coming out of the corner through, medium speed corners. We can really close that gap. But when it comes to the straight line, unless we are right up underneath somebody's rear wing, it's so hard to get an overtake done, because on the top end, most cars just kind of pull away from us.
Yeah, especially with the extra weight you're having to carry.
Yeah, right now there's 20 keys in that McLaren. Boy, it would sure be cool if you could dump a little of that out, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if the feds show up, you can.
Yeah, you better.
He needs to find a toilet during the pit stop.
Absolutely. So Vasquez then. Williams had a little run in at the top of the mountain. He got squiggly bitted.
Squiggly bitted. Yeah, it's a verb. Yeah.
It is now.
Williams, unfortunately, one of our silver drivers as well. So so it's down to Simmons and Good as our silver drivers battle it out. As Good is just over 5 seconds off of Simmons. Majid, Williams, Smedo, they've all pitted.
Smedo right now is, I was about to get to that. Smedo is about 20 seconds off of Good.
Yeah.
So
Smedo can win this thing. In the silver.
Absolutely. Let's see where he's at right now. Let me pull up the standings real quick.
He's too far back.
Oh, yeah. So Smedo.
It's funny, we see some maneuvering of the lower points individuals almost being maneuvered like pawns in the points race, as the guys that are still battling out, use these guys that aren't necessarily, they still want to win the race, but they're not in the points fight. So it's like Kerstetter heads to the pit, and it's an interesting chess game tonight as Flamger here gets a run again on the BMW.
Can he get in?
He keeps being forced to the outside there as Nixon continues to guard that inside line, and that gives Nordstrom a chance to run right up on the back of Flamger.
Flaminger's in the worst position possible as a driver. You're trying to attack, you're trying to defend.
Does he need to come in?
Yeah, he could still pit. It could be a time for him to pit right now.
He might be overdue for a pit.
Let's see here. If he were to pit right now, he would come out just behind Spangler in 11th. If he gets a perfect pit stop.
Yeah. Now, Kerstetter back out of the pit does come out in 9th place, it looks like, as he rejoins the climb up the mountain here.
With a 32-second pit stop, that was lightning quick.
Yeah. Which is a little bit rare. It looked like Mr. Sir bounced it off the wall just a little bit on the exit of that corner back there. And we'll see if he has a little bit of damage on the car. And it slows him down any on the straights. That could be the thing that Spangler finally needs to get around him.
Man. Flamanger is all over Nixon right now. I can't wait to either a pit stop or a move is coming. Nordstrom into the pit.
Pass or pit. Yep. There comes Nordstrom. If I think Flamger, I think highly of Timothy Flamger's race strategy. I think he's got to come in though.
Yeah, I think he might just be enjoying the racing right now. Nordstrom decides to dive in the pit, and he will take advantage of that. Probably gain some position later on. Yeah. So Kerstetter, currently your leader of the pitted cars, is 33 seconds off the leader.
Okay. So we are on board right now. Let's jump to the passenger view, and there is Nordstrom right in front of him. So almost status quo, because we saw Kerstetter pit when he was about a second off of Nordstrom, and he's roughly a second and a half off of him right now.
Yes. So by basically guarding against the undercut there, he was able to maintain that. But you'd have to pit the lap immediately following it, looks like, to really guard against that. But it does look like our leader has stretched that gap to just about far enough. If he has a perfect pit stop, he will maintain the lead.
So Good is in. He's already back out. So that race is now afoot. Now we got to wait and see what Max Simons does.
Yeah, so Simon is the only silver driver to not pit yet.
So let's see here. Simmons, if he were to get a perfect 32-second pit stop, he would come out just in front of Good. So he would fall to 4th place in silver. Bosley Majid, Tomato, and Williams would all overtake him.
Indeed. And that would leave...
Yep. And here comes Fleminger into the pits.
Okay, so he finally did decide it was time to get out from behind the Nixon slowdown machine.
Okay. So down on the pip, we have Nordstrom.
Now, Spangler and his teammate Kerstetter are separated by Mr. Sir, but the two of them running 8th and 9th. It's going to be close between them and Nixon and Mercer here at the end of the race when Nixon and Mercer have to pit.
Because they're only 28 points off.
And so right now, Jordan Nixon has got to put a hammer lap down.
Absolutely.
And Fleminger came out in front of Nordstrom. About a second to the good.
Woohoo.
Okay. So he was able to guard against that undercut by Nordstrom.
Yep.
Maintained 6th position after his pit. Simmons all the way up to 5th, but he is yet to pit.
As the pedantic squirrel in the chat says, "Come on, Jordan, he's got to get some air now."
Yeah,
after all that defending Nixon did for his teammate, he is going to finish. My guess right now is 5th at best, and Mercer's going to need a perfect pit stop.
Well, now that he's not trying to build that gap, we'll see. But now that he's not trying to build that gap, we may see him step up the lap times. Is if he was just taking it easy and backing traffic up, he might now have some pretty safe tires that he can go out, put a couple of hot ones in, hit the pit, and come out a little bit better. He did do a 2:01.53 that last lap. That's a pretty quick lap at this point in the race.
So Flamger's pitted, and he's only 30.6 seconds off the lead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
is he in a position?
I would say so.
Judging by the pit stop times,
32 seconds is the fastest we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has he done it?
The thing is, though, Simmons is right in front of him by about a half a second. And I know Simmons is silver and Fleminger is gold, but this is D1 we're talking about. The gap is not that big. Simmons is going to be putting up a fight.
Yeah, and so, Simmons in the Porsche, he's a pretty quick driver around here. I believe I want to look at something. Yeah, Simmons is up 21 positions from his start position right now. Just to be aware of that. He started like 3rd from the back, I believe.
And even when he pits, he'll come out at worst 17th.
Yeah. So he has made quite.
He can't let this Flamger situation hold him up because he's got to cover Good. So he can't let defending slow him down, or even get entangled slowing him down, and he can't let Flamger by. That's going to cost him a second.
Yeah,
that will kill him.
Simmons can get, I hate to say the word mediocre, but a mediocre pit stop for D1 is 33 seconds. It's looking like tonight. If he can do a mediocre pit stop, he will come out in front of Good.
Indeed. Now Spangler all over the back of this Lego brick wall again. Seeming to ride on board here over the mountain. As if he can close the gap down to Forrest's elbow, get a good run out of there. He will break through the bricks finally here on this Lego themed Aston Martin, as he's been continuing to push to try to join with his teammate Ed Kerstetter. And if they push together to make some fast laps, they could be challenging Mercer and Nixon for the lead of the race, and that would be the team championship for them if they can overtake them.
Simmons is letting Fleminger by right now.
Okay.
He let him by. That was not a genuine overtake.
He's up the inside on the high-speed corner, but that becomes the outside into Chase. Great defense again out of Mr. Sir here as he continues to just place that Aston Martin perfectly to make it very difficult for anybody to get around that Lego wall.
Doesn't Lego mean play well in Danish?
That's news to me if it does, but that would be cool.
Andrew, you are more cultured than Dudley and myself.
I think that was James May said that from.
If James May said it, I believe it, because he's the kind of nerd that would figure that kind of stuff out.
Yeah. So whatever comes out of James May's mouth is pretty much as good as the gospel to me.
Not a fast driver, but he's a smart guy. Captain Slow.
Crown is pitting. Is he? I thought he'd already pitted.
I think he might have had more damage, unfortunately.
Cock.
Yeah. Had to pull that one out from the Top Gear days.
There you go. Boy, we're down. We've lost 5 drivers. I think we're about to lose another one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're down to almost only 22 drivers right now. Crown is in the pit. It looks like he might be in there for a minute. And Nordstrom here still trying to find a way around Simmons as Flamger was let by. And Nordstrom now being held up by Simmons. And Kerstetter going to close that gap quickly behind him if he continues to get held up.
And he's already flashing those lights at him. So it was about right here. Simmons let out of the throttle, and same thing again. Yep.
He's letting him by, which is a gentleman thing to do. He knows he hasn't pitted yet. He knows he's a silver class driver. Let these gold guys that are battling it out get past you with losing the minimal amount of time. That's just the right way to do it.
He's got to come in because he can't cover off Dan Good.
Yeah.
He might have already lost it.
I think he probably has, unfortunately, because.
Yeah.
But I think at this point he feels like he's locked into no other choice but run to the end.
Well, he's got to beat him by 3 positions overall. Wow.
Simmons now is about 33 seconds ahead of Good. So
okay, perfect pit stop would still bring him out in front.
Boy, he's got to get in, get out, get it right, and he can't get in traffic because they say three positions behind Good changes championship.
Now Kerstetter is going to have to take more time out of him here as he will have to move over again to let him by. I don't imagine he's going to do it on the mountain, but I know this sometimes too is when you run with faster drivers around you like this, it can have sometimes it can have a detrimental effect where you feel too much pressure and you make mistakes, but other times you can catch a little bit of the draft, a little bit of the wind off of these super fast guys, and you just you end up going faster. And if that's what he's thinking right now, to set some fast laps by following these fast guys, that might work. Kerstetter thought about diving inside down through Skyline right there. That would have been a bold move.
I got to say, during that 12-hour race,
Kerstetter gets into the wall. No. As he's trying to check up behind. Oh, man, that was definitely him having to check up because Simmons braked in a place that he wasn't expecting to. And the back end of the car got light on him.
Goodness.
With that closes the gap behind him with Mr. Sir coming up close. Spangler, his teammate, even closer behind that.
But still, Kerstetter is going to overtake Nixon when Nixon pits.
Yeah, and it looks like he didn't lose way too much straightaway speed, so perhaps he got lucky with some ACC physics blessing there that he didn't damage the car too heavily. If that had been iRacing, he would have been out of the race. I'll tell you.
You are more narrow, y'all. That's our rules.
And iRacing, he'd be hearing, "You have wheel damage."
Yeah, it looks like you got a black flag.
No. What does Jim call the black flag with the orange dot?
The meatball.
Yeah, he's getting the meatball flag.
Yeah, first corner meatball.
I don't think.
Well, see, SRA though it's a feet ball.
The feet ball?
Yep, SRA is a feet ball.
Oh, we
That's
are getting
strange.
wacky tonight, folks. We haven't been drinking, I swear.
There you go. Yeah, I tell you, it's
Last
strange.
race of the season, we can have some fun tonight because these drivers are out here having fun.
Yep, it's
No
strange finish with feet around here that still blows me away.
Wait, what did you just say?
Yeah, if you've not noticed, there's a very strange fetish about feet around here.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
SRA
Lord,
League. Yeah, I
that's
have
for
noticed about
years.
that. Yeah, that's something going on with that. It looks like Velez and Crown have both just parked it in the pit lane for the evening. Velez, as we saw, had numerous incidents, and Crown. So that pretty much puts Crown out of the silver chances for the silver championship. So our silver contenders left, I believe, are Simmons, Majid, Good, Cran, and I think that's it that could win the silver championship.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think that's down to about 3 now.
And Kerstetter does finally get around Simmons here, as we saw that, as
Yep.
Simmons kind of lets him by again.
Fleminger super deep, super deep.
Where is he?
So-
Or was that Kerstetter? Sorry, it was on the wrong car. That was Kerstetter deep into the.
Okay,
second
yep.
lap
As
corner.
it threw him off having to go around Simmons there again. He had two different incidents basically because Simmons was just kind of throwing off his mojo around this track.
So I got Mercer coming out 3rd. If he were to pit now, you back him up about 33, 34 seconds, and I've got him 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, I think Fleminger and Nordstrom both overtake him, so that's 3rd.
Yeah, right, because he would come out between Nordstrom and Kerstetter right now with a perfect stop.
And then,
He might be
Excellent. Yes.
right on top of Nordstrom right now. That would be close. But Flaminger would definitely be in front of him. No question about it.
As Timothy Flaminger just put himself in position to take everybody down.
As we watch him climb the mountain here, he's definitely running it for every inch of the track. Boy, running all the way out onto that curbing, taking all the way to the left into Skyline here, jumping the curb on the inside, breaking it down for the right-hander, down to some of the slowest sections, tightest section of the track here. You got to be inch perfect through here to squeeze all the time out of it. Let off. Wow, they don't even break until the crest there. Impressive. Yeah. All the way out to the wall. Good exit. Power down the long straight to chase.
Boy, he looks good coming through Forest Elbow.
Kerstetter, big wreck. Out of the corner.
Yes. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here, as it looks like the aftermath might be continuing. Looks like he might have just lost control through Forest Elbow here as he comes down the hill. And yup, he just got wide, touched the outside wall, ends up getting into the wall and gets into another car as well. Almost takes out his teammate in the process. It looks like Spangler did lose a position to Manning out of that as well. And Kerstetter lost 8 positions, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he's,
after that.
I think he's done.
Yeah, his hood's flapping in the breeze. He's got some significant damage on that McLaren. And he will nurse that thing to the pits, and he may just call it a night. But I would think he would want to keep it out there and at least score some points for the team in case some crazy thing happens with Mercer and Nixon. You never know.
You know, so Burger Quigg qualified 2nd tonight.
Yeah.
Outstanding qualifying. But if he pits right now, he's going to fall back to potentially 14th, most likely 13th place. It just goes to show that even with a splash and dash pit stop, they're just so important. And pit stop strategy cannot be understated.
Kerstetter is in and at a stop. So
he will be frantically flogging his pit crew to hurry up and fix that vehicle, as he needs to get back out there and score teams. As we watch Majid tumbling through some positions here, and then he gets into the wall again. It looks like he may have had some issues and damage his vehicle as he is struggling to get that car up the mountain right now. See if we can go back and see what happened. Unfortunately, I missed the whatever happened. There's something happened before this incident that he got way off pace or way off line, and now he is unfortunately struggling quite a bit as he is one of our silver championship contenders, and he is tumbling down the standings right now. Right now, things are looking good for Dan Good.
Down in the pit, Spangler just made a move on Manning.
Manning's
done.
Yellow flag.
Way too deep.
Oh, no.
Manning.
Let's see if we can go back and look at what Maxie was cluing us in on here. Spangler going to make a move. Manning not liking it. As they touch, coming through the high speed, and Manning gets spun, almost recovers it, but then gets into the wall on the outside.
And then Speck in that whole scenario was able to get ahead of Spangler.
Look at that.
Speck gains 2.
Is Speck going to end up on a podium?
Yeah, he could. No. Well, it depends on what Sir does.
So
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. Well, no, Fleminger, Nordstrom, and Star are all ahead.
Yeah. But Speck having a good race. And
Now, we're down to... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
We're down to 4 minutes. We're about to see everything. We're about to see the team champions take their pit stop. We're about to see Simons take his pit stop. Everything's about to happen right in front of us.
Indeed. Nixon is running his fastest laps of the race right now. So I believe he was saving tires earlier, and he is making a bid for pushing a little bit harder now as he lengthens that gap. But will it be enough? Will Mercer and Nixon be able to hold on? It looks like Spangler having a hard time through Skyline as well as he backs it into the next wall.
Just need a reset there.
And he is going to get a reset to pit.
Oh, he still hasn't reset yet. He's still
he's trying to right it.
Yeah, he's trying to ride it right now.
Yep, he got loose over that crest like we talked about earlier, into the wall hard, backed it into the other wall hard, so he's got damage on every corner of that thing. Here we come back to live as he finally gets it turned around and gets it down the hill, but the car's all over the place. And then he decides to pull over and wow. After all that time wasted turning around, he resets then. That's really tough. So both Kerstetter and his teammate.
Oh, here we go.
Mercer, Nixon in the pits, Dromo in the pits, Quigg in the pits. Everybody's in the pits.
Everybody's pitting. It's pitting time, except Flamger now assumes the lead of the race as he goes by pit lane while those guys are stopped. Off he goes up the mountain, folks. Your new leader. Flamger. Mercer and Nixon about a second and a half behind. Mercer comes out, and we'll see if he can work hard to try to close that gap. But Flamger, he's got the best lap of the race.
201.2 in race 3.
Jeez.
Where did Simons has held on and is in front of Dan Good.
Yeah.
There's your champion right there.
Looking at your silver championship, if things finish the race as they stand right now, folks, he's got 1 or 2 more trips left over the mountain here, depending on when they cross the line next.
It should be coming up to the last lap.
Yep. So
I don't think
Flamger is going to Flamger's going to cross the line here, and then he will start his last lap.
Yep.
He's about halfway through.
Nixon, they came out second, third. Wow.
Yep. Split Nordstrom. So Nordstrom, who at this point, if things finish as they are right now, would still be your overall D1 champion, but Mercer and Nixon would be your team champions in their BMWs.
They did
it all. If Mercer could close the gap here to Flemanger.
Yeah, that would be interesting. He is making up time, but boy, Flamger is not slouching on those lap times out front, is he?
No, not at all. I mean, 201.2.
Nordstrom goes deep into the final corner and loses some time there, but keeps it off the wall at least. And Majid looks like he's got a yellow flag going over the mountain here. He has been having all kinds of trouble. Manning also a yellow flag. Maybe we can get a picture of that one in the pip as we see what happens here. Majid seems to have had substantial damage to his car. He cannot seem to drive it in a straight line right now. And that's really unfortunate. As he tries to make room, oh my goodness. That was pretty risky, as I think that was, I don't even know.
Dan Cran, I do believe.
Okay, Dan Cran had to make a evasive maneuver around him. And so right now, Simmons, your silver overall champion. Williams in trouble on the final corner as well. We're getting yellow flags all over the track now. The people's tires are worn out.
Wow. Why don't you just have a season finale at Bathurst? That sounds like a really
That
fun
sounds
thing.
like a riot, doesn't it? Yeah. It's funny. The one person that was really excited about this track being on the calendar has disappeared from SRA too. So I don't know what happened there, but we got another yellow flag at the final corner. Everybody seems to be just pushing wide. Oh, he went really deep. He's all the way out at the stopper wall.
Oh my goodness.
He's having
the move Tomato just put on Michael Manning.
I caught a little bit of that right there. Let's see if we can get this full screen as Tomato overtakes here, coming through Skyline, basically. Manning gets into the wall, gets a little loose, a little wide, and he takes it. He was not scared at all to dive inside there.
Wow.
Manning not having his strongest race, that's for sure. And Fazley is just going to observe the finish of the race from that position, I guess.
Well, he's halfway to Brisbane by now.
Now he's going to move the car. He's decided that's too much yellow flag. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to have to do a whole nother lap.
I do believe you're right. He wanted to go a lap down so he could finish.
And Timothy Flamger does get our race win. Mercer finishing second. Nixon third. Travis Nordstrom, your overall D1 champion, finishing fourth place this evening. Mr. Sir bringing home a very strong fifth place. Nate Specht coming home sixth. Codromo, he brings it home in seventh place. Fantastic finish. Brooker Quigg, eighth. Wilson, ninth. And Sumedo finishing out your top 10 as your first silver driver. But the real kudos goes to Simmons, who's finished in 12th place as your overall silver champion. And do we have the silver team championship? Does anybody got any points on that? We can figure out that real quick.
He did. I had. Oh no, there's no silver team championship.
Oh, okay.
That's correct. Yep.
It's just overall.
Overall team championship. All right. Apologies for that, folks. Got you excited for nothing. These guys are flashing their lights at each other, having a little fun at the end. And we have finished up our final race of season 9, and barring any major intervention by the stewards, which I don't see any reason for that, we will be crowning Travis Nordstrom as your overall D1 SRA champion for Season 9, as Flamger, I believe, takes his first win of Season 9. And what a fantastic race this evening, folks. Thanks for being with us. We are going to get some interviews here and talk to some of our winners as we can pull up our Discord chat and see who we can find over here. Travis Nordstrom's the first one I see in the chat. What do you say we bring our champion in?
Let's
Bring
do
it
it.
on.
All right, here he comes. Let's get this menu working. Travis Nordstrom, you got Dudley Do-Right, Maxi Poe, and Andrew Anderson up here in the booth. Fantastic result tonight with a fourth place finish, and that secures the overall D1 SRA championship for Season 9 for you. How are you feeling about this tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. I actually wasn't expecting to do that well tonight. I just got in from vacation yesterday, so I had very little practice time. But quali was like almost as good as I could ever do. And yeah, just clean race until a little bit of mistakes at the end. But yeah, I'm happy with fourth, and I'm definitely happy with the championship.
Yeah,
Well,
fantastic job.
I think you're kind of like Ted Williams. You know, if you wake up Ted Williams at 4:00 in the morning, he'll lace the first pitch over the shortstop's head. You know, he didn't got to warm up. He's just fine. So I think you're just like it.
Yeah, real testament to your skill, man, that you can come in with this little of practice and still do a very clean race, fourth place finish. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, everybody was getting a little wide and a little wacky there towards the final lap, so you weren't the only one to push wide in the final corner. We were getting yellow flags all over the telemetry.
Well, that one was actually, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but somebody took out the boards, or at least on mine. I didn't have
Okay.
any braking markers, and I didn't have enough time to like figure out what the braking markers are if somebody takes them out. So
Oh,
I was just flying blind, and I went too wide at second to
That
last
must
lap.
have been it, because all of a sudden it seemed like nobody could get the braking right for that
Yep,
last
yep.
corner. So that's
Yep.
pretty funny. All right. Well, fantastic job, man. You want to give a shout out to anybody as our Division 1 overall champion?
Just Michael Griffith, my teammate. He did a really good job this year. I don't think we ended up. We were close with the team championship. I don't think we ended up getting it because those
No.
two mercs out in front. I mean, that was it. I think we only had a 2-point lead, but he had
Yeah.
he had a fantastic season as well. And Comic Racing is having a great conglomerate season as well. So I'd just like to shout out those two guys. Well,
Yeah.
So
Michael
you like
Griffith and the conglomerate.
the number 1 or number 20 better?
I like number 20. I think I'll take number 1, but number 20 is my team. It's the San Antonio Spurs, Manu Ginobili.
Okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, so I like the number 20, but I'll see how 1 feels for a
You'll
season.
you'll sit on
That'd be
number
nice.
1. All right, that sounds
Still
fair.
gonna feel pretty
I might
good.
do that.
Well, the solution is ask Manu to take number 1 instead of number 20, and then you're all in good shape.
Yeah.
Well, congrats again,
Nice.
man. Fantastic race, and hopefully we look forward to having you as a contender again next season, and we'll do it all again in season 10.
Yeah, and I want to thank you guys too. I mean, you guys, every time I watch the broadcast, it was always so much fun. You guys have so much knowledge on what's going on, sometimes even more than I do. Like at the Suzuka race, you're like, he has the lead. When everybody else pits, I didn't even know that. I was just flying by my pants. So like, you guys,
You're just driving the
consistently-
car, no big deal, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. You
Right.
guys consistently had a lot of knowledge. It was very fun to watch. So I want to thank you guys as well.
Well, thank you, man.
Hey,
We've
cool
had a
stuff.
blast doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
D1 never failed to give us a great show, and thank you all for putting all the hard work in and giving us a great show.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, congrats again, man.
got
We'll
it.
move you back to the D1 race chat, and we will see you next season.
Yep, see you guys.
All right, there was your Division 1 overall SRA champion for season 9. As we finished up round 8 here at Mount Panorama, we're going to see if we can find somebody else. Andrew, you got anybody lined up to snag into the booth here so we can ask them all kinds of embarrassing questions?
I got nothing. Let's see what we have here.
We got Jordan
Let's
Nixon
see
and
if
Jeremy
somebody wears
Mercer in there, our team
Yeah,
champions.
Let's see. Should we drag him up?
Yeah, drag Mercer in here. Let's see if he knew he lost the lead of the race. Hey, Jeremy Mercer, this is Dudley Do-Right here in the booth. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, we got your teammate with you here. Congrats to you guys on the team championship win in Division 1. Fantastic race tonight out of both you guys. Looks like you had it wrapped up there for a while. At what point did you think maybe you didn't have the win wrapped up anymore?
When we exited the pits, Tim was in front of us, so that's when. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed my box by a little bit, so otherwise, I think I would have got him.
Yeah, we were watching
Yeah.
the gap pretty closely. Maxie, you had some more info on that?
Yeah, it was only about a second when you all came out of the pit stop. So did you have to throw it in reverse when you?
No, I parked and it moved me.
Yep.
Okay.
I was barely out of position. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't. So.
All
Well,
right.
still, you brought home the most important piece of the puzzle tonight. Championship. Man, how stoked are y'all? How'd you all do it? Walk the viewers through it home.
Well, consistency, really. I mean, we rarely were the ones fighting for wins, except for like today. But honestly, if you can be up towards the front with both your teammates, then that's how you bring home a team champ.
Yeah,
I don't know
fantastic.
where the final points fell, but me and Jeremy were only separated by 15 points tonight on the individual standings. So we've pretty much matched each other every week. It's been pretty wild.
I think our points will probably update if they haven't already, and we can have a look at that.
I'm checking for you all right now to let you know how the
I
how the
think
drivers played out.
I think I eked it out just by maybe like 5 to 10 points.
So
All right.
let's see here. There was a 17 point difference. Unfortunately, it hasn't updated yet, but
Well, the
Andrew
difference might
had
be,
yeah. I can't do the math that quick off head, but still, I mean, great consistency tonight. I did have one question there. It was pretty much from about 15 minutes in to about 20 minutes to go. Were y'all playing a little team strategy there, trying to build a gap? Because we saw the gap go from, that's okay.
I told Jeremy,
So-
I said, we need to get away. I said, I'm not going to try to pass you right now. I'm like, just go.
Yeah. So Nixon, were you purposely dragging a little bit behind there to kind of back up the other guys, or no?
No. Jeremy had pace on me. I mean, we were very similar. I'd say probably on average he was maybe a tenth or two quicker. So like, I mean, not like I was slowing up to stay behind him, and I definitely was not trying to slow up people behind me. They were just faster than me.
Okay. You were playing a great defensive line though on every corner, man. You were doing fantastic defensive work.
Yeah, kudos to Flamger. I mean, his pace was insane. He just was destroying me through the middle of the mountain into the braking zones, especially into Forest Elbow. So, kudos to him. And
yeah, his first race win of the
fun
season.
little battle. Yeah.
Well, congrats again, guys. Fantastic teamwork, and and enjoy the shoey. We'll be looking forward to your videos, and hopefully look forward to both you being strong contenders again next season.
I was gonna say one more thing. Jeremy picked me because he didn't want to do another shoey, but I'm making him do one.
Perfect.
It's unfortunate, but oh well.
You got to ruin those driving shoes again. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, fantastic. We'll do it again in season 10, and we'll get you back into the race chat here so you can enjoy some time debriefing the race.
Yeah.
Congrats on that team championship again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. And now I think, did we see our race winner anywhere?
I'm looking for him.
Flamger. There he is. Timothy Flamger. Let's pull him in. And then I think we got to get our silver overall winner if we can. Who I think
I will look for him.
That's Simmons, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not Dan Good. I see him in the chat, but let's bring in our race winner, Flamger, right now. Hey, Timothy Flamger, this is Dudley Do-Right up in the booth. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. You sound fantastic. Fantastic job on the race win tonight. Hey, quick question, man. Like, tell the viewers, at what point did you realize that you had built the gap well enough to be able to overtake those guys when they made their pit stops?
When I started taking purple laps.
Yeah, you were killing it.
Pretty good indicator.
Yeah, thankfully there was enough room on the relative that I could see Nixon at the very top, so I was able to watch the gap get smaller.
Yeah, nice work, man. You really walked it down. Were you saving tires early to be able to go that fast towards the end of the race, or what was the strategy?
Oh yeah, I was just chilling out, trying to slowly catch back up to the BMWs after I overtook the other cars, because I completely bottled qualifying. I could have done a 59, but crashed on the last lap.
Ah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just kind of taking care of the car, and then started attacking. Realized I couldn't take the BMW on the straight, so I decided to try the undercut.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, great strategy.
We were watching that one.
Did you feel like there was a opportunity to overtake Nixon at any point, or was it just solely through the twisty bit you were able to close that up, but down the straight the Beamer just had a little too much for you? Or
yeah, I was only faster on the mountain. The BMW was way faster on both the mountain straight and the Conrad, and it was really stable in the chase, so I couldn't even do anything there.
Okay.
Yeah, he was placing that. BMW perfectly to make passing nearly impossible from our view. What did it look like in your car?
Yeah, I gave it like 3-4 tries, and he was just parking it on the apex, and I was hoping he would make a mistake one of those times, but he didn't. So thankfully, Travis behind me pit first, so I was able to watch where he came out, so I could tell if it was safe to do that and have a gap.
Right.
Oh, that's a good little indicator.
Yeah. What did you project the pit stop to be?
I was thinking like 26, 27 seconds.
Okay. So the best pit stop tonight was about 32 seconds,
Oh, really?
and that was you. So you nailed that perfectly and monitored that gap perfectly. I mean, perfectly executed race tonight. I just hats off to you. I love a great strategy and the commitment that it takes to stick to that strategy. So again, congratulations tonight on that win.
Yeah, I'm super psyched. I had a terrible season. It was really good to end it strong.
Yeah, man, great job on the race win. It was the first one for you this season, but hopefully many more to come. Next, we'll do it again in season 10, and hope to see you there.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
All right, man, we're gonna let
Good
you get back to
stuff.
the race chat. Congrats again on your race win, and we'll send you back to race chat. All right, anybody find a silver class driver to interview yet?
I
I can't
haven't.
find Simmons anywhere.
Nope.
Well, he's just being a little coy.
Great season. That's a championship. That's a shoe he's going to have to give out now.
Yeah, so at least we'll see a Shuey video. You can't avoid the camera forever.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap up our broadcast for this evening. But man, it was a fantastic season with you guys. Really enjoyed doing this. Hope our viewers enjoyed it as well. And thanks for sticking along. And yeah, that's right. In the chat saying the admins are going to hunt down the people that don't do their shoeies. They will fly to their hometown and force them to use their shoes to drink alcohol.
Let's just hope they're not in Daytona.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't bring that up, right? Oh, yeah, this guy
Yeah.
still needs to do a shoey. They'll do it in person, right? We'll all do it right there. But thanks again so much to you guys for being with me in the booth. Any last thoughts as we wrap up this evening?
Well, I guess this is probably needs to be my last one. I've been doing the commentary for a good many seasons, so I'm gonna see if I can move us along to guys. Leave it in great hands like you guys. Y'all are better than I ever was, and so I'm gonna hang it up.
It's the end of an era, folks. End of an era with Andrew Anderson retiring the microphone.
If I say it now, I can't come back. So I will not do a Brett Favre.
No, you got to do it. You got to at least do the cold intros for us because, I mean, it makes this whole thing special. And I've only been doing this for a few races, and had it not been for you and Dudley, I would have never been able to do this. And I can't thank you enough, Andrew. I'm sure the viewers at home feel the same exact way. So thank you so much for your contribution to SRA and taking time out of your day to do this for us.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome.
big time thanks to both of you. Maxie, thanks for jumping in halfway through the season, basically, as we dragged you into the booth. You did a fantastic job. Looking forward to next season with you as well.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this final race this season as D1 drivers bring it to a close?
Final thoughts, man. I'm not sure I could wrap it up in a single sentence, but I just love watching the strategies play out because it's not just waiting to the last moment and pit. I mean, our race winner tonight proved that these guys have an incredible racecraft, and just being able to watch this and bring the action to the people at home, it's incredible. I can't wait for next season, and I know these guys are going to step up their game next season. I'm not sure how that's possible after seeing these lap times this year, but I can't wait.
It is going to be a fantastic show. I look forward to it. I'll be back in the booth again next season, guys. You haven't seen the last of Dudley Do Right running this show.
Sweet.
Thanks so much to all our viewers. Pedantic Squirrel, thank you for being in the chat all night, man. And we have a few other people to thank as we look over to our sponsors. We have a huge thank you to all of our SRA sponsors and the title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA to keep the servers running, to run these awesome races. We also have support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And we have support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. We also have a big thank you for all our affiliate sponsors, Track Racer, Armentario, Go Setups. Track Racer will help you experience redefined gaming with high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armentario has a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. I use it, and I enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced heads-up display that changes the way I experience ACC and helps me go faster for every lap. I also use Go Setups, premium esports setups for everyone. Use the affiliate link in our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Well, everybody, that'll do it for us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in all season long.